I'd like to take a moment to update my colleagues on a bill that I introduced in 2021 designed to fight counterfeits. As we all know, counterfeits are a threat to the United States' economic and national security interest. Most counterfeits originate in China, one of our largest competitors. Counterfeits are dangerous to consumers. And lastly, counterfeits rip off American ingenuity and result in billions of dollars in losses. For these reasons, Congress must ensure the federal government arms its partners with the tools and the resources that these people need to combat the bad guys who sell these fake goods. My bill has the number S-1159, and it does just that. It gives the partners the tools and resources they need to combat the bad guys. Now, it happens that S-1159 was incorporated in the United States Innovation and Competition Act of 2021 that passed this Senate on a very bipartisan vote. It was a bipartisan, the bill with that title, Innovation and Competition Act, was an effort in a bipartisan way to crack down on China. Now, the bill that I am telling you I co-sponsored, and as part of that, gives our U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, authority to share more information with the private sector on counterfeits identified at the border. It also gives Customs and Border Protection the authority to share information with other parties, like e-commerce parties and shipping carriers. Sharing information then creates a more secure trade ecosystem that keeps counterfeits out of our country. This is good, common sense policy. Now, my colleagues may be asking themselves, why is this really needed? Well, Customs and Border Protection believes that the Trade Secrets Act keeps this agency from sharing certain types of information with the private sector. This keeps American companies then in the dark and prevents these companies from pursuing the bad guys who rip them off. Indeed, companies have repeatedly told me that if they just had more information from the federal government, they would and could keep more counterfeits out of the United States. So my bill removes this barrier and specifically gives Customs Border Patrol the authority that it needs to share information with the private sector. Now, here is the icing on the cake. Recently, Customs Border Protection confirmed that my bill would, quote, resolve their concerns about violating the Trade Secrets Act and would permit the sharing of more information, end of quote, on counterfeits. And a few weeks ago, Congressional Budget Office confirmed that my bill will cost absolutely nothing. So good government legislation that costs the taxpayers $0 ought to not raise any questions when it protects the consumer and protects our business people. That is what I would like to call a slam dunk. And I hope my colleagues will join me in making sure that it gets past this Congress. And now, since this has become an issue in the House of Representatives, I hope that the House wakes up to this common sense policy being included in the China package as negotiations continue, because they left it out in the version that has come to the House floor now. I yield the floor.